Hi, I'm the Artie Dans and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm taking a look at the 2019 Chinese true story disaster film, The Captain. We all love a good disaster movie. It makes for great and exciting cinema. And when a disaster movie is based on a true story, you know what makes it even better. Yeah, there'll always be the dramatizations and embellishments, and this movie is no different. But that's what makes disaster movies even better. Chinese cinema has been on a roll these last few years, with more hits than misses. Does The Captain continue that tradition? Watch on to find out.
走，罗机长早。
影响青藏高原。
Sichuan Airlines Flight 3U8633 is bound for Lhasa, Tibet from its home city of Chongqing, famous for its spicy hot pots. Captain Liu Changjian is a seasoned professional, having started his flying career in the Chinese military before moving to commercial airlines. It's the day of his daughter's birthday, and he's promised her he will be home in time for her birthday party. The day starts out like any other for the crew. They're given their briefing, they check the plane, board the passengers, and off they go. Only this time, disaster strikes, and one of the windshields in the cockpit shatters, depressurizing the aircraft. The first officer gets sucked halfway out of the windshield while our brave captain fights to take control of the craft, navigating it through the Tibetan plateau to land safely in the Sichuan province of Chongzhou, an area near Chengdu, famous for their pandas.
根据气象预报资料，起飞后大约30分钟会经过激流区，大家要特别注意颠簸的影响。一旦出现颠簸，例行轻度不打铃，中度1声，重度3声。很高兴能跟大家一起执行这趟飞行任务，那就上课吧。
谢谢机长，
谢谢机长。
飞行愉快，
飞行愉快，
飞行愉快，没有。
As far as disaster movies go, this one has it all. It's got an exciting story based on true events, a good-looking cast including a dead ringer for Fan Bingbing, great special effects, great soundtrack, and is well acted, directed, and edited. In fact, the only thing you're likely to find fault with the movie is how it makes you feel proud of the captain and crew for landing the plane without any loss of life, and the usual tropes associated with these types of films. And if you're calling them faults, then this movie is doing quite a few things right. Amazingly, the story told in the movie actually reflects the incident that occurred in real life. The issues with the flight began 40 minutes after takeoff. The windshield dislodged from the body of the plane, causing an uncontrolled depressurizing. The noise of the wind blowing into the cockpit made communications impossible, and due to flying over mountains, they were unable to descend to a safe distance. The first officer was also partially blown out of the craft, and one of the air hosts was also injured. The plane was also overweight when it landed, causing damage to the plane tyres. The only difference seems to be in real life, the plane landed at 7:42, 77 minutes after takeoff, whereas the movie lists the landing time as 7:56. Not a big deal, but an odd thing to get wrong considering the screenwriters got everything else right.
没有受力点。成都，四川8633。
四川8633，请讲。
我现在有点故障，我申请下高度。
四川8633，下8004保持。
下8004我要返航了，我现在风挡裂了。
风挡裂了是吧？
哎，对的。
And yes, the movie is full of cliches. It wouldn't be a disaster movie or a Chinese movie without them. First is the usual array of stereotypes as passengers. The rude business class patron, the couple afraid of flying, the screaming child, the clueless foreigner, the angry but scared man. They're all here, and they all add to the charm of the film in small doses. We're also treated to an extremely patriotic song at the end of the film, as well as a weird scene of the captain asking whom in the crew is a member of the Communist Party. So there's no secret here that this movie wants to ram home some sense of Chinese patriotism. And that's fine. The Americans have been doing it for decades. There's also all the tower control scenes that seem to be there for the inevitable, "Yes, they made it! They're safe! We did it!" scene at the end of the movie. Again, something that doesn't really add much to the film, and quite frankly, I lost count of how many control towers seem to be following the plight of this craft. There are also the scenes of the flight enthusiasts that's never really explained. They're just there, they cheer at the end, but they add nothing to the film either. And we could have saved 10 minutes off the running time without them. Not that this movie's long. But in the end, this movie will be remembered for its faithful, if action-packed and dramatised, retelling of the disaster of Flight 3U8633. And I'm fine with that, because this is a movie that had me on the edge of my couch, actually cheering the crew along. Have you seen or are interested in watching The Captain? Let me know what you thought of it in the comments, and if you agree or disagree with my review. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out my other videos. You can also follow my reviews on Reddit at the Sub Asian Film Fans and at www.theartydance.com.